Can everybody hear me okay? Can somebody let me know in the comments, in the live chat? Can somebody, can Gary, calm down, I'm here Gary. Can you hear me? But I have had a bit of a technical disaster before we've came on the air, if you can't tell. But apparently you can hear me, right? As you can see, I have microphone in hand for the next half an hour. I was literally about to go live when I pulled down the arm, as you would normally do, and off you pop. Off you pop. So I'm going rogue. I'm going, karaoke style, basically, which is great. I feel like, you go on TikTok and people are sitting with a mic like this and they're doing fucking, could you name the last song you were listening to? And they hold it up. I feel like I'm at one of them now. Hello, nice to see you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. I would say happy Valentine's Day, but stick it. Hello, like and subscribe if you're watching live, or if you're watching back in recorded fashion later on in the night. I hope you've had a lovely day. I'm hoping you're enjoying yourself. It's been quiet. There's not been an awful lot to talk about, and that's why I've decided, well, tonight we'll go live. Why not? We'll go live for a change. We do it every week. If it is that way now, where we're midweek. There is midweek games tonight, as you can tell in the title of the stream. However, Celtic, not one of the teams competing in the midweek fixtures. The midweek fixture is, in fact, somebody's asking me, let's do this. What was the last song I listened to? What was the last song you listened to? Let's see. It was a Luke Combs song. There you go. Must Have Never Met You by Luke Combs, which is obviously very suited for Valentine's Day. Don't worry, I wasn't getting in my feels about nothing. It just so happens that was probably what was all last on my rotation. Anyway, there is a midweek game tonight, which involves Rangers, of course, which is pretty important in the grand scheme of things. Should Rangers win by a good few goals tonight, they can go top of the league. So by the time the clock strikes midnight tonight, Celtic might not be top of the Scottish Premiership table, which is something we've not said this season. We've been top all season up until potentially tonight. I know a lot of people will be hoping that Ross County do us a favour. I would go as far to say that there is no chance. I think realistically you're looking at Rangers winning 3 or 4-0 tonight, if not more, which will put them top of the league. But listen, it's February, titles aren't handed out in February. A lot of games to go, including 2 derby games, which will be pivotal in terms of winning this league title. There's a long way to go. Celtic need to improve before we end up, giving the title away. But, tonight doesn't mean much. We've seen it coming. We've dug our own grave for now, and this is the situation that we're going to have to deal with. They're no scoring 8 goals, Ryan. It doesn't matter if they score 8 or not, because they can overtake us in goal difference. Let me just go and absolutely triple check this. I know I'm right, but they're only like 2 goals behind us in goal difference. We have a goal difference of 40. Rangers have a goal difference of 38. If Rangers win by 3 tonight, they go top. If they win by 2, we stay top. So, obviously you're hoping that things go our way. But it's kicked off at Ibrox, by the way, so if anything happens, we will have a look in the stream. But we're here to talk about Celtic. I'm sorry that it is so late tonight. I wanted to go live at 7, but I had stuff to do. I say we had stuff to do. I had a Chinese to get. Mum and Dad were not going to go out for dinner anymore. Do you want a Chinese? I was like, you know what? Treat me, why don't you? Anyway, hello, let's get into talking about things with a very little conversation that we have. Thank you if you are tuning in anyway. Why is the mic moving? The mic is moving because I'm having to hold it. I'm not explaining it again, but there's a reason why. Basically, the thing broke. I need to fix it after this stream. It broke a minute before I went live on the air, and I didn't have time to fix it because it's quite difficult to fix. So one of the things that has been in conversation for a couple of days is, listen, I wasn't going for the meal. They were going for the meal. I was going to stay in and make my own dinner. They decided not to go out. That's why they got a Chinese. God, Jesus, I'm not that bad. Going out for a fucking Valentine's Day dinner with my man. I'm not that hopeless. I'm not hopeless, to be fair. Liam Scales. There's been talk about Liam Scales getting a new contract at Celtic. Shall we have a look into the article and see what's being said? This is a bit off the cuff, this stream tonight. I feel like very unprepared, if you like. This is the headlines. Late last night, that Liam Scales' new Celtic contract is on. as club push button to tie key defender down. Celtic are pushing to tie Scales down to a new long-term deal as a reward for his fine form under Brendan Rodgers. The article goes on to say that Celtic have pushed the button on their bid to extend Liam Scales' contract. The Hoops have now opened discussions with the Republic of Ireland international, who is out of contract in the summer of 2025. So that's only, obviously just under 18 months left on the deal. Brendan Rodgers is looking to extend the agreement, having been impressed with his fellow Irishman, who's gone from the fringes to become a key man for Rodgers' side this season. The manager said last month that contract talks had begun, but Scales contradicted that a couple of weeks later by saying there had been nothing really in terms of discussion. And apparently Rangers are up 1-0. Anyway, Liam Scales, his contract is something that is being discussed apparently now at the club. And amongst that, it has created a situation which I didn't really expect, a massive online debate as to whether or not Liam Scales should be worthy of a new contract. People saying that we shouldn't be giving him one of significant length, some people saying that we shouldn't be giving him one at all, and some people saying that he is more than worthy of getting a new contract, which I think is a conversation I wasn't really expecting to see kick off. To be quite honest, I thought that it would be pretty straightforward. I thought people would have been unanimously happy with Liam Scales getting a new contract at Celtic, and it doesn't seem like that's the case. It seems like it has created this big spark of conversation. My point of view is I don't think that there is a need to sign him down or tie him down to a long-term deal. I think he's absolutely deserving of a contract extension. He's good. He's a good quality player that we've seen this season. I think that adding another year or two on his contract would be a smart bit of business, and you obviously can keep him here as an option at Celtic for the next few years. I think to tie him down to a long-term deal is pretty surprising, but I'm not exactly complaining. I don't think he'll be on the highest wage in the world. It's not as if he'll be desperate to go anywhere, considering I think that he's surprised probably even himself with how well he's played this season. The thing is about this long-term deal, a lot of people are saying like, it's hardly like Barcelona are chasing him. It's hardly like he's wanted by Premier League clubs, which is absolutely true. But I guess it's just Celtic rewarding him for what he has done this season. But one point I do agree with, and I want to bring this up right now, and a lot of people won't like it, but this is where I have 2 points to say. I agree. We should be aiming higher than Liam Scales. Liam Scales should not be set. And I've said this a couple of times, and it's not a popular opinion for some people, but realistically, if you want to become a better Celtic, you want to challenge in Europe, and you want to ultimately improve your side, Liam Scales has to become a second choice. It's as simple as that. He is not as good as some other centre-half options we could probably go out there and get. But that being said, it doesn't mean that he shouldn't be at Celtic. It doesn't mean that I wouldn't have him around. I think that he's a great option to have in the team. And he's still there, obviously, if someone like, if say we sign someone to play alongside Vickers, if they dropped off injured, then you're turning to somebody who has been reliable. You're turning to a Liam Scales, which is not a bad thing at all. So I think giving him a new contract is good. I hope the discussions go well. It's obviously just the question about whether or not his length of contract is suitable. I'm going to go through some of the points in the chat because it'll be good to get your thoughts on this. But thank you to Ian for the £5. I really appreciate it. Saying, I'm jealous of your new job, Ryan. Love the wrestling. Thank you. I am very happy with the new gig. And I thought the first shift went well. So thank you, Ian. And thank you for the donation, of course. It means a lot. I really appreciate it. So we've got a few people coming in and talking about Liam Scales. We've got Isaac saying that Scales isn't good enough for Celtic, no better than Welsh. Donald saying, I think we should look for a better defender. Ron Villiers says, unpopular opinion, but Scales has been much better than Cameron Carter-Vickers in Europe. So as you can see, even, and that's only 3 comments that I've brought up on screen. There's a few more. I've only brought up 3 on screen, and already in my chat, in my live chat, which is a very small percentage of Celtic fans, both online and in the real world, a very small percentage, you can already see the divide in opinion when it comes to Liam Scales getting this new contract. The one thing that I think that we should all be able to understand and appreciate is the fact he is deserving of a new contract. He has been one of Celtic's best players this season, and that says a lot about how poor some of our players have performed and how underperforming has been consistent in our side this season. But he's played well enough to deserve a new contract. I am under full understanding of why people don't think he is good enough to play for Celtic or play every week for Celtic at least, but he does deserve to stay, I think, as a I think it would be harsh to say that he should be gone or anything like that. But I am 100% on the side of we should be looking for better players. 100%. I think it's obvious to see that there's areas in the squad that need certain reinforcements, and centre-half is one of them. And realistically, you're replacing Scales over Cameron Carter-Vickers. Cameron Carter-Vickers has been unlucky this season with the fact that he's been injured quite a bit, but Scales has stepped up, and he deserves the credit for that. I mean, why? So we've got a few other people saying, somebody saying he's been the most consistent guy at the back by a long stretch. Yeah, he has. And this is why I think he's absolutely deserving. Cal saying I just missed Starfelt, so do I, to be fair. Our best partnership in terms of Europe in recent years was Wilson, McManus, Caldwell, Telfer. People forget what bodies outline. What's body out on lines defending? I can't read. We've got Murray saying, don't think Scales' new deal should be too long term. Put in a good shift for us this year, but he's nowhere near good enough to be one of the main centre halves. Need to go out and get another one in. I think that's the perfect summary. If I was to try and summarise it in a sentence or two, this is the way I would say it. I think that he is more than deserving of a deal. It doesn't need to be a 4 or 5 year contract. I don't think there's any need in that. But he's definitely deserving of a year or two, and he's definitely deserving of being an option at Celtic. I would say that. Welsh is a good player, but it's not for Celtic. It's a kind of similar situation to what Scales is in, I suppose, with these opinions. Investor saying Scales has been brilliant this season. Get that pen put to paper. Spell the glove. Thank you. Bagard, as Jim Ross would say. Ian saying that Scales is a good squad player, deserves a new deal. There seems to be a big split opinion on the Liam Scales stuff, and I guess we'll wait over the next few days or weeks to see if there is an official announcement about the contract. I think it's going to happen. I don't think that this split opinion online is going to have any impact as to whether or not Brendan Rodgers goes, oh, we should probably not give him the deal now. You know what I mean? It does seem to be quite a polarising topic at the minute. I didn't expect it to split as much opinion as it actually has. But yeah, I've spoke a lot about Liam Scales. Let's talk about, there's not much news out there. Should we talk about this? And I'll give credit to 20 Minute Tims, where credit is due here, because this was something interesting that went up today, and we'll get into the Q&A after this. Where do I share my screen? This was a tweet today by 20 Minute Tims, just around 6 PM this evening. And obviously it's rumours, just like yesterday's video, as I always say with rumours, take it with a pinch of salt. There is no guarantee that this means this is actually happening. But there seems to be rumours floating about at the minute that our head of first team recruitment is Ofsky. He is Bojan Miovski at the end of the season. The head of first team recruitment. Question is, this is my question: is that Mark Lawwell or is that someone else? I'm not too certain on in terms of the actual job titles that they've all got, because I know that some of them are like, oh, head of recruitment, and then some of them are like, oh, head of scouting, head of, you know what I mean? But there's rumours floating about apparently that the head of first team recruitment, whether that is Mark Lawwell or not, I'm sure it is Mark Lawwell. Rumours that he's away at the end of the season, which, fucking give me the party poppers. Yeah, Mark Lawwell, I thought that. Give me the party poppers, I fucking so, because he deserves to be got. He should have been gone after January, in my opinion. And if these rumours are true, I would say it's fantastic news for us, because it's a very underwhelming job that's been done in terms of recruitment. I think that Brendan Rodgers has been shortchanged with the players that he's been handed by the recruitment team. And I know Brendan Rodgers is ever saying that. He's not exempt blame, but obviously the people at the head of this have been signing duds for a few years now, and Mark Lawwell was still signing duds with Ange Postecoglou. It's not like it's just a Brendan Rodgers thing here. Let's make one thing crystal clear. Some of the signings Ange was stuck with in his second season in charge were absolute duds as well. We've carried over. Remember the fact we signed, remember this name? Abildgaard. Oliver Abildgaard. Remember that name? Yeah, players like Oliver Abildgaard. That has been our recruitment for like 2 years now, and it has been incredibly poor. So rumours that they're off at the end of the season will obviously need to follow and see what happens. I don't know what is exactly going to happen with that, but I mean, I would be absolutely delighted if it was the case. I would love to see a change of recruitment figure. Now, the thing is, Celtic haven't got that role right for years now. We have had 3 terrible people in that position, and on the trot. We've had Lee Congerton, we've had Nick Hammond, and we've now had Mark Lawwell. All 3 of them have done a shocking job. in charge of recruitment. I don't know what is the process in employing these people, and well, we know that the last one was an nepotism hire. It's as simple as that. The last one was a nepotism hire. But we need to do our job right here in employing the next head of recruitment. We cannot afford to go and get a fourth dud in a row doing this job. It's a very important job, not only for the current success of the football club, but for the future of the club, because these are the guys that are going out and trying to sign us project players or signings to help us go over the course of a few years. It's not a just now and then thing, here and now thing. That's what I meant to say. This is a future thing as well. They need to get this appointment right. But the thing I would say about this, it's not just the head of recruitment. We need a complete and utter revamp of what is the recruitment department at Celtic. Because apparently, we heard all that talk, and I say heard all that talk, it's true, you can check it on his fucking LinkedIn profile. Gordon Strachan's son, not Gavin, the other one, he's working as the chief European scout, and that guy was running a fucking golf shop 5 years ago. So the whole place needs a revamp. It's not just the head that needs done. I think that Celtic need to go out. They need to go and do their job properly and employ people that are actually going to take the club forward. We're talking about all these links that we have with the City Group, and I know that's where Mark Lawwell apparently came from. He came from the City Group. But we have all these links to the City Group. The City Group have got some of the best scouting networks in the entire world. And how can we not replicate something even on a minor scale compared to that? We are doing nepotism hires, we're signing pals of the board, pals of the club, and we're giving them jobs. That's where things need to change, and the people who run the club at the end of the day are the ones that have the power in doing that. But they need to fix it. So if the head of the first team recruitment leaving is the first step, then I hope there is more to follow, because I think so much of the footballing side of our club actually does need a reshuffle. I'm happy with our manager, I'm happy with our coaching staff, although I think it could maybe do with some freshening in there as well. But above that, in terms of the recruitment department and places like that, and analytics and player analysis, whatever, I think it all needs a little bit of a revamp, but hopefully a step in the right direction. Of course, keep in mind it is just a rumour. We have no official word to say that is actually going to happen, and to be honest, it's probably one of those ones that will come out via the mainstream media, like it will be leaked to the press, rather than Celtic releasing an actual statement themselves. So you're just going to have to keep an eye out for that coming, but hopefully it's fucking soon. Because my God, I mean, you look at the list of signings that Mark Lawwell has made for the club, and they're just simply not good enough. And in a grand scheme, we've obviously had one or two good signings here or there, but the last two windows especially, they are abhorrent to look at. They're humiliating to look at, I would go as far to say. So that obviously does need changing. So we'll keep an eye out, see what happens, and hopefully we see that change at the club. But that's probably, we've got a couple of comments in regards to it. We've got Wizard Mortal saying, we moaned about Congerton. He ended up at Leicester with Rodgers and is now head of recruitment and scouting at Atalanta, who are fourth. Why is it that when they come to Celtic, they just don't seem to do the job? I'll tell you why. Because of the people above them not giving them money to spend. Because, do you know what? I'll cut them some slack for a minute. All three of them, Hammond, Congerton and Lawwell, I'll cut them some slack. I bet you if they knew they could get the resources and the money to spend on the players they actually want to bring in, we'd do a hell of a lot better, and they'd look a hell of a lot better. But at the end of the day, they're getting a certain amount of money to work with, aren't they? And they're told you're not spending that on a player. That's probably one of the biggest issues, whereas when they go to places like Leicester and they go to places like Atalanta, although they're not going out and spending 50, 100 million pounds on players, they're probably getting a lot more freedom in terms of like, okay, this is a player we really should sign. And they're getting it because the board and the clubs there are actually ambitious. But ho-hum, it is what it is. Anyway, shall we move on to the Q&A session? Because I've hit 20 minutes now. Let's do questions and answers. I'm sick of this. I hate holding this. It's like, I can't even try and look at this, right? No. It's going to have to be done off. It's going to have to be done off camera. I hope you don't mind me sitting holding it and waving it about. Let's go, shall we? Q&As. Woohoo! Thoughts on Knutsson's contract being up in 2025? He is likely to leave, apparently. Good on him. It's my thoughts. I've seen people saying sack Rodgers and get him in. Give me peace. Give me strength. I don't care. If you really want that, it's not going to happen. Let it go. Let it go. And I don't mean to say that in a rude or kind of sanctimonious sort of tone or anything. I'm not trying to take the high road because I'm a Rodgers fan. It ain't going to happen, and neither it should happen. It's as simple as that. Good on him. Hopefully he gets a good job and he does well. He's not coming to Celtic. Let's see, what else is next? What have I made of Kyogo and Ida's partnership so far? Still think I'd prefer Kyogo up top on his own. It's obviously very early to have an opinion on it. Like, in terms of, I'm not going to come out and say, oh, it looks great, or it looks shite, because they've played a combined amount of time together, which doesn't equate to enough time of judging what's there. I like the idea of it. However, I am a fan of the 4-3-3. I'm a fan of the 4-2-3-1. I think that one striker is probably the way to go in modern football. But until Kyogo has that confidence back of scoring goals, I don't mind him having Adam Ida there to maybe relieve some of the pressure and some of the work that Kyogo has to do. So I don't mind the thought of it continuing as long as it wins us games. But we'll just need to wait and see what it's like, because I think it's still a little bit too early. Did I watch the Super Bowl? I did. Well, I fell asleep at the start of the fourth quarter, which was annoying because obviously it all kicked off after that and it started getting a bit better. But yeah, I watched what I could until I fell asleep. I was knackered after my first show in commentary for ICW, so I did just kind of fall asleep with it on in the background. Will Rodgers be sacked or leave if we lose the league? I think there's more of a chance of him leaving than there is of him being sacked. I'm not going to start talking about us losing the league, because A, I'm an optimist, B, I don't want to be a downbeat bastard, and C, just don't want to. But if we were to lose the league, I don't see him being sacked. I honestly don't, and that's not me saying that because I'm a Rodgers fan, because I'd maybe I would be on the side he should be sacked, but I just don't think he would be. But let's not talk about it, shall we? Like if we're gonna lose the league. When can we expect to hear me on WWE? Probably never, sadly. Hopefully soon. Hopefully. Nah, we'll see. Any news on Alistair Johnson injury time frame? Nope, there has been no updates yet. Not heard anything yet either. So we're still awaiting any sort of time frame on that. I'm hoping that he's maybe back in time to at least be involved in the squad at the weekend, but obviously they won't rush it after the kind of severity of a head knock like that. But no, I've heard nothing yet. The extra tickets for the next derby has been rubbished, wasn't true. Not surprised, to be fair. Only reason I made a video on it is because there was nothing else to talk about, really. I need to make my money somehow. And that was the news of the day yesterday. So, yeah. Look, listen, I said it in my video, I wouldn't be surprised if it got rubbished, and it has been rubbished. I don't think Kyogo is the issue, in my opinion. He doesn't get enough service. The wingers have been poor all season. They have to be better, but Kyogo has to be better as well. I think everybody in the team has just got to be better. As I said, I kind of briefly skimmed over this when we were talking about Scales. The underperforming in our side this season has been, applied to everybody, really, apart from maybe Scales and O'Reilly. Everybody else has underperformed over certain lengths of time or whatnot. Everybody has to do a bit better, but I agree, the service hasn't been great for Kyogo either. The board haven't got the bollocks to sack any manager, especially if they're pals, and Rodgers is pals at the end of the day. So yeah, there is definitely an aspect of that, Lewis. I would agree. Yes, he does. Where is it? Where is he? Where's the question? Yes, he does. Johnson was at Lennoxtown yesterday, says Luke. Lovely. Nice that. Love that. I did mention about cutting myself with a tin of beans. Absolutely did. Do I regret it? No. Trying to tell a story on commentary. I told my story. Thanks very much. Let's see. Rodgers isn't getting the best out of the players. If this were a different manager, it would be up in arms. I don't know. Maybe, but I think there's reasons for that though, and I think it's because we have seen what Brendan Rodgers can do at Celtic. Whereas if it was somebody new coming in, then people would be like, "Oh no, I don't like the look of this." But we know that Rodgers can probably get back to the best that he's been if you have faith. If you don't have faith, then fair enough. I have faith, and I think a lot of people still do. If you judge off people in the grounds and stuff, and yeah. But listen, it's people get carried away tonight when they see Rangers go top of the table, and it's a position we should never have been in. We are the only ones we've got to blame for that. We squandered an 8-point lead at the top of the table. We've allowed them to go top of the table this evening, pretty much. But still a long time to go, and we do need to get ourselves in a position in the summer where we are not talking like this. I think Rodgers needs his squad. We need this new head of recruitment that apparently could or couldn't be a thing. Yeah. Let's see. What else is there? Turnbull would be brilliant just behind Ida. We need to sign a player of this type, someone that can hit a ball. I don't want to... He's away now. I don't want to give him the same... Listen, Turnbull had attributes of a great player. He was just too slow. And I like players that can hit a ball. I love a long shot. I miss them, in fact. I miss a long shot in football. I hate this passing to the goal shit sometimes. But Turnbull was his own worst enemy, because for everything that he'd done that was great and all the positives that he showed us, there was also a huge chunk of games where he'd come on and be absolutely useless because he was clunky, lazy. You know, he's gone now at the end of the day. And that's that. I need to get my wrestling channel started, but yes, I'm going to bash in Berlin. What's the Ross County score? I don't know what it is now, to be honest. What else? Brendan's tactics seemed too pedestrian. The team was built to run at the opposition. Yeah. I guess if you want to play it devil's advocate in terms of that, then I guess you would say, well, it wasn't the team he built. So if you still want that to happen, and obviously it's not the manager to use that team in that fashion, so there is, understanding that that's the reason why. But listen, I know things will get better. And I know that a lot of people can't see that at the minute. A lot of people can't see that it will get better, or they refuse to see it will get better, but it will. I'm almost confident of it, because you've got one of the best managers in our lifetimes managing the club. There's a guy that delivered us a double treble, which no other manager's ever done at the club. So I know things will get better, but it's obviously just when you go through rough patches, it's hard to see the positives, and I understand it. It's frustrating. We haven't played well at all. But, we played well against St Mirren in the Cup. So hopefully there's building blocks to go off from there. Gareth, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. $7.55. Weird number, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Says, how many new players have to succeed in order to make a transfer window successful? 50, 60, 75% more. Anything that's better than what we've seen in the last couple of windows. Because the fact of the matter is, and if you combine our summer window and our January window, actually, do you know what? If you just I'm not going to use the January window as an example, because there's no point. They've played 2 games each, Nicholas Kuhn and Adam Ida. But the fact of the matter is, in that summer window that we just had, you can argue that only one signing has been effective. And even at that, it's still up for debate if he has been as effective as some people would say, because he's very polarising, and that's Luis Palma. Aside from Palma, who else in that window has been a success? Nobody. And I think we made 8 signings in the summer. I'm going to go and double check this, because what is that in fucking percentages? Celtic season. Somebody's saying 1-1 in the chat. I'm going to work out my percentages. How did I get it? Celtic season. So in the summer, we made... Fuck me, Wikipedia's long, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 signings. We made 10 signings in the summer. And one of them has been a success. That's a 10% success rate. So I think you need to get more than 10%, put it that way, Gareth. But, aye. Also, everybody in the chat is going mental, because apparently Ross County have equalised. And that is probably... It's apparently getting checked on VAR. But I think that is probably a good place to end, because I usually go half an hour. We've went half an hour. Also, 230 live viewers when there's nothing to talk about and Rangers are playing is a great number, so thank you very much. We're going to end there. It's 1-1. It'll probably end 4-1 to Rangers, so I'm not going to get over and ahead of myself, but it's a good building block for us tonight. I'm not expecting. You know, the only hope that I've got is that, like, the good old-fashioned losers, Tavernier, Goldson and such, their arses collapse in opportunities like this, like they have done for years. But I think tonight they'll still win, ultimately. But aye. Yeah. Right. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your night. Hopefully Ross County go in to get another goal, but I doubt it. And we'll be back on the channel tomorrow, hopefully. So thank you for being here. Like and subscribe. I'll see you all next time.